Welcome back. In the previous video we have stopped the generating the email. So we have sent the email with the attachment, but there are some cases like we are not able to receive the message which we have sent, like once the email has been sent successful. So this message we didn't receive, as well as like the table was not in a full width. So we'll fix those issues now. So we'll start fixing those issues. So here, like I'm having this generate PDF as a function. So what I'm doing right now is like so I'll be using an await here. So let's create a const variable like PDF data equal to await of generate PDF, and we'll pass that data. So once this data is being received, so what we are doing is like inside here, so we are creating the PdfMake with 𝗵𝗁. So what we'll do is like we'll move this function to we'll move this part to a separate function, and then call it here. So what we'll do is we'll hide this one. So let's generate PDF, and we'll refactor this guy now. So we'll create a function named generate 𝗵𝗁. So here we'll be getting our data. So what we'll do is like we'll return a new promise. We'll resolve this promise once the data has been converted. So create PDF into data, get 𝗵𝗁. So here we'll be having our data, so the converted data. So what we'll do is like we'll resolve that converted data. So now what we can do is like we can copy this function and can call it here. So const const, we can give it the name of data await function and the function which you are going to call. So here we will be passing the PDF data. So now what happens is like we don't want to this guy here, so we can cut this part alone and delete this generate PDF function. So now we are having only the message and the send email options. So now what we will do is like we'll get an email response like once it is sent. So what we can do is like we'll refactor the send email function. So instead of this async and await, so we'll delete this one, and we'll handle it similar way what we have done for the generate 𝗵𝗁. Use the send email and we'll receive a message. So only message is needed. So we'll move the conversation to there itself. So we'll return a new promise. Then we'll resolve this promise once the email has been sent successfully. So what we'll do is like we'll resolve it with true. So now we'll go back to our send email handler. So here what we will do is like we'll listen it like email response, await of send email. We'll just send the message alone, and then so we'll write up the condition like if the email has a response that is true, then we'll add the message like email sent successfully to your email sent successfully, or else case we'll handle it like connection.add something went wrong while sending email. So we have handled this part as well. So now this data, instead of this content PDF data, what we will do is like we'll pass the base64 data. So what we can do is like we rename it like base64 data, and we'll copy the name and use it in the attachments. So now what we have done here is like we have refactored this code. So we have used the await function for the base64, and we have moved that base64 logic to a separate function, so which will return a promise once the data has been converted to base64 string. And as well as like for the send email function, we have returned it with a promise like once the data has been sent successfully, we will be resolving it with true. And so this part has been done. So what we can do is like first we'll deploy this one and check how it works. So let it get deployed. So we'll wait for the deployment to be get completed. So meantime we'll check what was the issue with the PDF file. So we've been creating a table. We've been using a width, and we are writing an styles for the table headers. So we'll check with the PdfMake. Now we'll select tables. So for the table, we have given a style like table example. Did we given like anything like that? So we didn't give any style for the table. Okay. Check. What is the style they have written for the table? So they have written a style for the table like this. So we'll use this one once we test this part of getting two messages. Like once we send, while sending a message, we'll be having a message like sending email to you. So once it is sent successfully, we'll be having one more message like email sent successfully. And once this testing has been completed, we'll test this part. Like, we'll add the styles and we'll see like how we can show the table in a full width. So the deployment is completed. So we'll reset the test and we'll invoke our action.
Getting the test version of 𝗓𝗏𝗏. Welcome to 𝗓𝗏𝗏. Did you want?
We'll choose no.
Would you like to see the places you have?
We'll choose yes.
Here Here is the list of places.
We'll choose yes again.
Would you like to receive the report through email or WhatsApp?
So we'll choose email.
Sending email to you. Email sent successfully.
So both the process gets completed, like since we're using an await function over here. So once all these awaits get completed, then we'll be getting our response. So what we can do is, like instead of having this message, we can use this one alone. So we'll do those things now, as well as like we'll add up a style for our. So first thing, we'll check whether we get the email. Okay, we have received the email, so we'll check the PDF. So still we are getting the PDF in a, you're not getting the PDF in a full width, like the table. So we'll fix that one, as well as this message. So what we can do is, like, we can remove this message, and we can write a message like here, like have sent the report to your email, please check it out. So we'll refactor if needed. So now we'll go to the generate PDF. Here we are not added any styles, so we'll add up a style by looking at the PdfMake. So that is an example, like table example. So we'll add that style over here, and then we'll use this style for the table. It should be like a table. Okay, and then why we didn't receive the full width for the table, so we'll check that one out. So we have been using this table as an example. It's like a simple table. So being using widths, using body and width. So we're using a body, header, with should be width or widths. So they mention like widths here. So we'll copy that one and paste it here, like maybe a typo error. So we'll so we have added that style and a width for our table. So now we'll redeploy it again and check whether we are getting the table in a full width. So we'll wait for the deployment get completed. So meantime, what we'll do is like we'll delete this email. So we'll go to the trash as well, delete it out. Now we'll wait for the deployment to be completed. So we'll reset the test. So the deployment is completed, so we'll test our action one more time.
Alright, here's the test version of 𝗲𝗓. Welcome to 𝗲𝗓. Did you went out today?
We'll choose no.
Would you like to see the play?
We'll choose yes.
Here is the list of places you have visited.
We'll choose no.
Would you like to receive the report?
And we'll choose yes.
I have sent the report to your email. 𝗃𝗵𝗁𝗂.
Okay, it's like please this will not send properly. So we'll check our mail. So we have received the mail. And now we'll check our table. Okay. So now we are getting our table in a full width. So I think like as per the documentation provided from the PdfMake, like once the data has been added, so it will automatically create a new page and add those data in the table. So we don't want to create those things, I think so. So anyway, we'll check those things at last. If needed, we can add up the conditions, the logics we need. So now I think like we have completed this part fully, like showing an option and choosing the email and sending an email with the PDF which we have created. So till this we have done. To accept this part alone, so we'll do it once we complete the WhatsApp part. So that's it with this video. So we have refactored our code for the sending email. So even we can move these things to a const variable or const file, since we are not going to change these properties anymore, like it will be a static one. So we'll try to refactor this one like once we complete the WhatsApp section. And I think like now it's looking up pretty good. So we are having a minimum line of codes for this sending email. So we'll do the same for WhatsApp as well. So that's it with this video, and we'll see in the next video on how to create send this PDF to WhatsApp using Twilio. So till then.